All right, let's talk about Dillon Gabriel, who ultimately ended up, finishing the day 0-1 now as a starter, but I thought did a lot of nice things. And we're not just going to talk about him, we're going to talk about the whole Browns offense and how things look nice. We also will get into some issues and what went wrong with the offense as a whole, but yeah. Let's just jump into things. Let's start off with this play, because, Dillon Gabriel is a story, and in fact, somehow even Shedeur Sanders is a big part of this story just because of the stupid world we live in, but Quinshon Judkins really should be the story. I mean, this guy, the Browns were having no ability to get explosive plays prior to him getting there, and he has changed this offense. He really has. Watch how on this play. Well, first off, I mean, listen, anyone can run through this hole. Let's give a shout out to the offensive lineman for creating this gap. I mean, you see, this is exactly what you want to run through as a running back. However, again, a good running lane only gets you to the next level. Then you have work to do. You see, there is a Minnesota Vikings player who is, in position to try and come in and make a tackle. But this is just Judkins' ability to accelerate so quickly. Watch him be able to get through and move Wall at a top speed, and just look at him go. I feel like it takes like long strides or something, because it doesn't look quite as fast as he actually is moving, but trust me, he is flying through here, and again, getting to that top speed quickly, that turns what probably should have realistically been a gain of 3 or 4 into a huge gain of 20 plus, and got them all the way to the 15-yard line, where they were ultimately able to score a touchdown. We can talk about the touchdown as well. Ironically, this was Dillon Gabriel's only completion of the drive, so always nice as a quarterback when you get one passing yard on a drive and it's the touchdown. That helps the passer rating. But you see right here, just a little pick play on the outside. And one, Gabriel takes a snap. The Vikings just completely blow this. No one picks up the tight end on this play. So bad defense by the Vikings. But hey, that's why you run these types of plays. Mistakes will happen, especially on a 2nd and goal when you've been running the ball effectively. Defense is expecting a run. Don't quite get their coverage set. Gabriel, to his credit as well, makes an off-balance throw on time. But, Harold Phantom gets the touchdown. But ultimately, that was a Quinshon Judkins drive. It really was. He's doing some nice stuff out there. Of course, that was not all that happened in this game. This play was interesting. So at this point, there hasn't been a ton passing-wise for Gabriel. They really ran the ball a lot. You see 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. But here, so the Vikings, again, this is not great defense. Really, the Vikings defense has not quite been what they were last year. You see they're really selling as that are going to apply pressure. Okay, fine. That's what Flores does. They have 3 players in coverage towards the top of the screen. You have 3 receivers out there. Maybe, sometimes people who know more about football than I do, if you comment if you know what this coverage is, I don't know exactly what's happening here. But regardless, when Gabriel takes the snap, I think it maybe was like a buzz concept, man coverage concept with 2 players covering the middle of the field. Not exactly sure. Either way, again, nobody has picked up this receiver down the field. And on 3rd and 13, that just can't happen. You can't have uncontested guys 15 yards down the field on a 3rd and 13. To Gabriel's credit, though, gets the ball there in a hurry, throws a catchable football. It was not a ball that was caught. Judy did ultimately drop this one, so not Gabriel's fault. Good play by him. But, again, getting him comfortable throwing the ball, taking advantage of your opponent's mistakes, that's what you want to see your quarterback doing. And then on the next drive, I think we kind of saw them say, okay, well, let's let you throw it a little. Right here, again, you have the 3rd down situation not going great at this point. It's a 3rd and 8. Obvious passing situation. As good as the run game is and all that stuff, it can only do so much. You're going to have a receiver run a route that's going to try and get, towards the bottom of the screen. This is man coverage. So you need someone to win one-on-one right here. But watch Gabriel take the snap. It's Isaiah Bond running this route. Just well-timed. Bond is able to make the grab. They don't quite get the 1st down. So, again, the 3rd down numbers still aren't getting helped out with this play. But it set up a 4th and 1. A 4th and 1 they converted on and were able to keep this drive going. We then had a couple of nice plays. This is a 3rd and 6. Hey, there's a 3rd down conversion, and there's Jerry Jeudy being able to make a play. Nice route by him. And this play, beautiful throw. Wall, I don't want to say getting hit, but Wall, there was contact being made by his own offensive lineman getting pushed back into him. Great throw and awesome catch from David Njoku, and they're able to get the ball all the way inside the 10-yard line. So, yeah, just tremendous stuff there. They settled for a field goal, but largely due to just not having the time. But we definitely saw, some good stuff there. That drive was not perfect. Gabriel on this play probably should have, I don't want to say should have thrown an interception, but could have thrown an interception. A bit behind, wasn't enough separation right there. A great defensive play to jump the route and just couldn't quite finish it off with the, with the pick. But, so was not perfect, but ultimately a very strong drive and showing that you can put the ball in his hands. You don't have to run pass every single time if you don't if that's not what the situation calls for, which is good to see. Also, this play, down 4 points, hey, a field goal helps you. It does, right? Because you're down 4 points. That makes it a 1-point game. No matter what the Vikings do on their next possession, you're still going to be down 1 score. But you want to convert here. You're inside the 10-yard line. But 3rd and goal at the 9, it is difficult. Gabriel's going to take the snap here, and you see it's once again David Njoku's route, going kind of more over the middle. He does a great job against his assigned man here to get some space, but there's 2 safeties who are sitting in the end zone, right? So this is a tight window throw for Gabriel. Some quarterbacks wouldn't make this throw. Some young quarterbacks are like, I don't know if I can make this work, but you're going to have to fit through tight windows if you're going to work in the NFL. As you see, that's exactly what Gabriel does, makes the nice throw, and they're able to take the lead here late in the 3rd quarter instead of just having to settle for a field goal that would put you down a point. Now, we got to head over here because even though I've been mostly positive, like the overall passing stats are what they are, right? Like they definitely struggle to consistently move the ball. I don't really blame Gabriel much for this, although I do think there is some blame to be had. Some areas for him to learn, right? I know he's an older rookie, but he still is a rookie. There still are things you're going to have to adjust to at the NFL level. So this play, it's a cover 2 zone for the defense, and cover 2 zone is such a good defense to run because you only have 5 eligible receivers. The defense has 5 players covering over the middle of the field, right? So it makes trying to fool the defense and who do I cover? Am I supposed to cover this guy or that guy? Just a lot tougher as an offense because, they're just going to cover, they essentially each have a guy right when the play begins to cover. Gabriel takes a snap, and he's going to look towards his left. Jerry Jeudy is probably the route that you would look towards in this read, but you see there is a defender who's kind of covering this, and given that Gabriel is on the hash marks towards the top of the screen, think about the angle where he is and how he would have to make that throw. That's a disaster waiting to happen. He's not going to wait for that disaster. He's going to look elsewhere, which is smart. I think that's the correct call here. This is the issue. You do have a couple of players that if you quickly get over, you can make this play. You have a clean pocket, and figuring out that internal clock is always difficult. You always would like a quarterback to probably get rid of the ball too early than too late. That being said, he throws this football away when he had an opportunity to get over. And listen, it's a 3rd and 7. I don't know if either of those plays go for a first down, but it could make you decide that you can get a field goal instead of having to punt. It could make you close enough that you go for it. Or hey, maybe the player you hit makes a move and you get the first down outright, right? Like, I think I would have liked to see him do that. So again, not a bad play, not the best situation. The Browns just don't have a ton of talent offensively. It is what it is. But ultimately, there were some things to work on, right? I think that's totally fair to say. Also, this is just one example, but there were some miscommunications as well offensively. Again, kind of expected with a young quarterback, but some of them were under receiver too, which that's just, you got to figure that out. It's week 5. You got to be running the right routes. The quarterback, young quarterback not being on the same page, well, that happens, but I'm not sure in this one exactly whose fault it was, but there were some where I'm like, oh, that's just the wrong route given what the concept's supposed to be. So yeah, got to clean that up as well. So yeah, listen, ultimately the numbers are the numbers, and the numbers weren't great, but I don't think that was his fault. I really don't. I thought he played better, and ultimately you've seen the offense look better now with him out there than with Flacco out there, which is what the goal of this move was. It was to get better at football. When I made my quarterback evaluations, I compared him to Gardner Minshew, and just in kind of I think he's someone who's could come in right away and play effectively, even if he's maybe not going to have the highest ceiling in the league. If you remember, Minshew was a solid starter, or, maybe solid starter is too strong of a word, but he came in and looked like he could keep a team afloat. Ultimately, never really became more than a solid backup. We'll see if Gabriel can be more than that, but for now, at least the first part of that has been, I think, checked so far. He belongs in the NFL. He's making some plays, still as a rookie, but I think this is more exciting, a more fun Browns team to watch, certainly, than what they had been with Flacco out there. So there's at least that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.